Alright, welcome back to the stream that nobody asked for. Back to Patrician 4. Now, where even was I? Well, it doesn't matter if I know or not where I am. I made a little note for myself of things that I have to do straight away after I had a good long look at how the whole Hansa is looking. Now, keep in mind that the very, very long-term goal is to have a perfect Hansa, which means everywhere is going to be up to max population, which averages out to just under 60,000 people a pop. When you have places that are humming around 2,500 or 3,000, you know that we have, well, our work is cut out for us, so should be fun, it should be extremely long. But that's okay, you know, it snowballs to a degree, like when we have places such as Haarlem, which are sitting at fairly meaty populations, 18,700. Not for lack of jobs either. I want plenty of these people working and working hard. Not in these smokehouses that just can't seem to get their hemp though. These workers would do me a lot better if they were actually producing goods in the other industries. So I'm actually going to pop that down. There we go, until everywhere else is full. I knew they were full because the population suddenly dropped, which means people became beggars because they had nowhere to work. Fortunately it wasn't many, and as we see, sheep is full, sawmill full, clay pit full, because I'm going to need a lot of wood and a lot of clay where I'm going. I'm going to build up extensively. So the first thing I want to do is pop over to Rostock, because although by all accounts I should have plenty of grain right now, I do not seem to have enough. If we look over at Aalborg, the grain should be bursting, really. It should be more of a distribution problem, but we are straddling starvation across many of our places. And since I'm at the population cap for Aalborg and I'm not willing to cut down on what little smelting I'm doing, then that's a no-no. I will not back down from that. So we need to bring in a bit of extra gain from Rostock, because Rostock doesn't really do much for us. It brings in cloths, and okay, that's something I need to take note of. We do not distribute those cloths enough. Good to see that the wool is actually coming in, and wool goes 1-to-1 into cloth. But I digress. The fact is Rostock needs houses, because the AI is doing their ugly house formation, and I do not like that one bit. So we're just going to flood the market, as we often do, and build up grain and houses. We have a good million, so this shouldn't be too tricky for us to do, but where are they gonna go is the question, and I think the answer is right here. Sound effects seem awfully low there. I think I reduced it so we didn't have to deal with so many pirates. Because damn, those pirates are loud. They like to be heard in a big way. Not very happy with the way that's snapping, but it seems to work. That seems to work quite well, actually. Fan-bloody-tastic. So just watch that money melt away. Houses have a way of doing that. And for most of the places, I'm looking to just keep it comfortable with a population up to 10,000. And for 10,000, I think 167 houses are enough to keep housing occupancy below 60%. I am pulling that number firmly out of my behind, so if anybody wants to correct me, they're more than welcome to. But the AI only builds houses if occupancy is 60% or more. Yeah, none of those are happening, and I am not giving away my money. So we currently have 74 businesses, and as far as I can tell, they're all running. Okay, well, I have these two tailors, but they can do that, you know. At least I will have some clothes, so that when the lords come knocking, I can at least answer them with this. And the lords are always knocking. Even Mr. Mecklenburg, who I would probably do good to placate right now. But it's quite the money sink. It's always the money sink. Pomerania's looking the happier. And quite a lot of them are very happy, actually. I'm going to pursue Flanders so I can get more land routes. But I digress. The point is I need some grain buildings. We have 74 businesses, so I need to add 26 of these so that I can be happy. 1, 2, 3, 4... 8. Wait, oh shoot there, I forgot. Yeah, I completely forgot. These are farms, so I need to do them in a square formation. No matter how ugly it ends up being. And it's usually very ugly. Okay, how's my counting? 1, 2, 3, 4... okay, don't fit there. This is such a bad building interface. It hurts. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's 24. I needed 26, right? Well, let's just round it up a bit. So ugly it hurts. Still, there we go. That should be Rostock dealt with when it comes to, well, lots of things, really. They're going to be starving for clay, but that's okay. We can deal with that. Starving for lots of things as it happens. I don't mind buying all the wood away because the administrator will automatically sell it as we need it. What else is on my to-do list? Bearing in mind that I'm not overflowing with dosh here. Nashved has plenty of houses actually, which is quite nice. Saves me having to purge my money there, but I am always short on hemp right now, and I want to be overflowing with that stuff. I also want Nashved to grow further. Fortunately, I can have a meal for the poor, supposing everything is fine here. It is, we're in upswing, good. Let's have a good old meal for the poor so we can get more people in, and we'll have them working our drug farms. Big fan of these drug farms. Long may they continue to make us plenty money. Now I need 20 more of these. And to keep everything cheap. I mean, it doesn't really make any difference whatsoever to the prices overall, because when you build a building like this, they take the market price for the clay and wood and charge you that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 20 of them. So 126 is more businesses than we really need, but the mead breweries, the mead people, I got 23 of those, and they just don't work because mead is not something I need right now. Then again, you know, might not hurt to have at least a few people working them. That way I can have some mead ready for when the lords come knocking, as I often say. Finnegan Hard Ross is somebody that's actually caring about how I feel. He's asking how we're doing. I'm doing great. Spent my morning assembling IKEA furniture, and now I can spend my afternoon playing Patrician and then Europa. It's a pretty good life. It's a pretty damn good life. Alright, so Nashved... is 166 enough? I'd feel a bit safer if I had just a few more houses. Especially since the AI building in my own Demesne is something that cheeses me off to no end. There we go, 171 is surely plenty. Jake, favourite starting city? Danzig. Especially if you're playing on the regular one, because Danzig brings wood and brick, both of them, and that just makes me very happy. It's also in a pretty good position to deal with everything over here, provided you ignore what's over to the west quite a bit. Positionally, you don't get better than Aalborg, but it's Danish. Anything over here is pretty bad as a starting city because you're so far away from where the bulk of the action is happening. And that's why you start off in Lübeck when you play the campaign. It's Babby's first village. You can easily have great production routes going around here, like bringing the salt up to get the meat, bringing the wood in to get the salt, that sort of stuff. Jake, your North Sea Empire inspires me to want to try an East Frisia game and make my own. I'll go for it. Don't join the HRE. Alright, so I got Nashved dealt with. What else is there? Helsinki could be bringing me in more cheese, but I also need a bit more money and more goods. Also, Helsinki's population is in the pits. I need to keep an eye on that because I've barely built any houses here whatsoever. Needs to be better dealt with. But where is bringing me clay? I've already forgotten where I've built up clay production. Was it Boston? It is Boston, so maybe I need to help Boston along a bit. It has some clay. I'm not even sure if I have Boston's clay being sent over or not. But Boston's population could do with growing considerably so that I can get more clay over to the center. And then I can use that for all my my growing that I have to do. Because Aalborg does not get that much clay, and when I think about where my wood stocks are, I come up blank. Well, it's not all bad. We can carry on our merry ways. I see you little people. Probably not worth my time at all, but I'm going to pick you up. I don't care if you're from Danzig or not, you're living your new life in Bremen. It's nice to see that money go up and up. Now where is People Mover? Normally they're over here, so I must have popped them over somewhere else. There we go, People Mover Higgins was busy making Nestved the place to be. The same Nestved that is now prosperous, which is good. Haarlem is where I abduct people. I'm going to throw them over to Boston so that I can get my my brick moving. Wood comes in from Scarborough. How much wood, you might ask? Not enough. Not enough. Mead would be perfect, they say. No, 400,000 ducats would be perfect. And it's because I keep wood and clay flowing that I can do missions like that. Anyway, People Mover, it's time to move some people. If I move people, I get the goodies, and if I get the goodies, well, everything else just falls into place. Alright, we still lack you-know-what, so let's get plenty of people. Also, I'm going to start autoclicker.exe because I'm not into all that clicking madness. People Mover. Go to the tavern, abduct everyone you see who you think would look good in shackles. Because they are now going to be regular Bostonites. Jake, you having holiday in Sweden today? I hope so, because otherwise work is probably wondering where in the world I am. And then they tune into the stream and go, what is that madman doing? There we go. We'll up the population by 1,600 in Boston. And because I've now made some money, I can also build up some buildings because I really... Again, Boston is somewhere that I have made. I am the mayor here. And I will not allow some sticky-fingered AIs to come trouncing on in here. Now all I'm producing here is clay and salt. I don't really see a need to build more beer since beer is not that necessary. I'm just happy to keep the salt and the clay flowing. Can never have too much clay, so I'm more than too happy to have extra buildings. I just want to up Boston to 100 so I don't have to worry about it. So 7 more clay pits. I'll build 8 because I'm that kind of guy. And I will not do it in the nitro formation, which makes me sick. There we go. And then enough houses to see us through. That would be quite a lot of houses. It'd be about 70 houses to be safe. But I can live with that. As long as I know where they're going to go. But because this is all gridded anyway, I can happily do them here. Farms are the real nuisance when it comes to building up a city, because their 2x2 gridding is nasty to work with. You know, as opposed to all those other things in this game which are just a delight to work with. That was sarcasm if you're not good at knowing when I'm being sarcastic. Or, oh, what the fun is that? Yes, I do not like this game's city builder element, if we can call it that. I mean, I like making beautiful cities. It actually hurts me to make cities like this. If you watched me play Banished, you'll know how I like to make my cities. Every so often I actually load up Banished so that I can look at that city and just remind myself, not even a city, it's a village, to remind myself how things could, would, and should be. Running out of money here, but there should be enough to finalize Boston. Especially since I'm keeping the cost for these houses down low. 166, I'm not entirely happy with that. But there we go. Out of money, but Boston I don't have to worry about whatsoever anymore other than keeping the convoys going. And I wouldn't be surprised if there really isn't much of a convoy going from Boston. So Boston is going to provide about triple this. So let's round it up and say 300 every day. 3,000 every 10 days. Do I have a Boston fleet? It would be called Boss. I don't. Huh. I'm impressed with my own lack of foresight there. Fortunately, Aalborg is full of boats, even has hulks and Hanseatic cogs. Hanseatic cogs, eh? Well, let's build ourselves a convoy, because this is going to be the boss to Aalborg. Brick. And what name do we have? We got Seize the Day, which is quite nice. Unfortunately, it is too long, because I said there's a limit of 9 characters, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Well, shows what I know. Seize the Day. That one coming in from Holy Knight Hun. Alright, so the journey for you to go from, not Scarborough, but Boston to Aalborg takes 8 days. Let's be generous and say it takes 10, so I need it to have a capacity of 3,000. Why is there such a damaged crater here? 3,000 is a lot of boats. A lot of boats that I don't really have right now. But it's going to take a while for that to actually go up. At the moment it's I only need about half of that. So that's okay. Like I said, this is all about scaling up. Boston to Aalborg Brick. Activate. And let me actually tell you what that route is. You go to Boston, and when it comes to clay, I want you to load all of it. When you get to Aalborg, I want you to unload all of it. Very simple, get to it. But that also means that I do not have a salt brigade for Boston. And Boston does not have enough wood. You'd think that wouldn't be too big of a... Hold on, I sold all my wood, that's why. As far as I'm aware, there's no problem with supplies there, it's just me being bad. These guys do not have enough grain though, especially if I keep pumping the population here. So, hey-ho. There should be plenty of salt though. I mean, this combined with what I make elsewhere should keep the salt flowing. Or so I hope. But yes, I need convoys for this. Salt we currently produce 71 of. That's going to reasonably double up to 140. So we need another 1,500 capacity fleet going there. Boss to Aalborg. Salt. And somebody wants to call this the Yeoman. About the salt. Well, it's close enough to Yeo, right? Add in another cog and we should be good with this. Hulks are pretty fast though, it seems a shame to use things that aren't hulks, so I'll get a trio of hulks on it. I got speed 8 knots. I'll probably get this route done even faster. Nah, still 8 days, but that's okay. You go to Boston, you pick up that salt and nothing but. It might seem like a waste that 1, we're only taking 1 good per fleet, and 2, we're only using the fleet halfway. I mean, it's traveling to Boston empty, but it keeps things nice and simple for me. This fleet has 1 job. Unload everything in Aalborg. Jake, why do I not see flames in your playthrough? I remember my campaign a complete hell. It was annoying to build a ton of well. I play on normal mode, which does not have fires or freezing ports. I've played with them. They are just a nuisance. Such a nuisance. And I do everything I can to cut down on the nuisance in this game, of which there is plenty. Poor Alberg, not enough workers, but not much I can do about that right now. So what have I dealt with? Boston's wood and salt, convoys and houses are all done. Nestved got their hemp and their houses, and Rostock got their grain. There are two other things I want to deal with, Oslo and Helsinki, and I don't have the money to do either right now, so let's just carry on. Ah, my expeditionaries are back. With a ton of goodies for me, as well I expect. I still have metal tools that I could bring over there, but they don't seem super keen on them. I just want these blooming places to grow. But they don't want to grow. You never even sold all your tools. They'll just keep bringing me the goods. Then there's People Mover. Do I want more people in Boston is a question. Those clay pits aren't going to work themselves to death. Yeah, maybe I could convince them to. I need clay a bit more than salt right now, so let's funnel those workers over to the clay production. That's fine. But still, People Mover should be firmly moored in Haarlem for whenever I need, well, people. Like in Nestved, where I need hemp. I need a lot of hemp. And everything else is looking good. I'm pretty happy with the daily increase there. I'm also pretty happy in auto fleets being around to grab exactly that. Also, why do you have sailors? When you have sailors, you cost me money that I really don't need to be spending. So even though Visby doesn't really have space for people, I'm gonna dump you here. So like I said, you're just costing me dosh. I don't think I own any. No, I've built up Visby quite a bit. And I'm even making a touch of rent on it. I just haven't built any production buildings here. Well, how about that? I fear for starvation in Boston and Scarborough because I keep demanding wheat and I keep not giving them wheat. Not sure how the cheese is looking either. I mean, if I look to Scarborough, no wheat, very little fish, very little cheese. That's not good. As for Boston, no wheat, barely any cheese and meat. That's just not good. I need that wheat a-flowin'. Same for the cheese, you know, Riga tries to make it, but I need to supplement it with Helsinki as far as I can see. I built smelters here, but I suspect what I really need is a whole heap of cheeseries over in Helsinki. So that's what I want, but I'm going to need quite a few things for it. For one, I need the wild card Thagnus to get all the trading... what am I trying to say? Where is the wild card Thagnus? I need to get my building materials from him. Oh, he's over in Revel. Why did I put him in Revel? What am I doing in Revel? Oh, isn't this the last place that I got a counting house in? That doesn't feel like the place I finished off last. I am, however, building houses here. I'll take some wood. Okay, well you need to go somewhere and pick up building materials. I'm also noting that clay just doesn't come out of Riga right now. And I think I'd chopped Riga off of my clay production, clay route. Probably off of my hemp route as well. So the poor guys just don't get any. Jake, would you mind if I ask you a question about EU4? Fire away. I mean, worst case scenario, just ignore it. I'm not sure if I want to change my clay route to actually hit up Riga. I think if Helsinki goes nuts with the cheese, I can actually ease up cheese production here and get back to having a bit of clay and a bit of hemp flowing here. But that requires action on Helsinki's part. Question is, where do I get these goods? I could pick them up in Haarlem. I could go to Boston. I'll tell you what though, Helsinki can have this wood. Don't know what they're going to do with it though. I need that clay. Boston should have a good chunk of clay by the time I get there, which will take 6.4 days. Malmö is under siege. It's a shame, but it's not my place, so I don't have to worry too much. Okay, pirates, where are you? Am I just blind? Aha, there we go. Why are they hanging outside here? That's good old Gobby though. Always feel like I don't have enough hunters over in this part. Bring it on. As I say every time, but will continue to say, I play with modded numbers when it comes to fleet combat, because fleet combat is a heap of arse and chips. Unashamedly so, because anybody who wants to sit through hours and hours of naval combat, I think we've already done hours and hours of it, even with these modded values, and I'm talking like modded by a factor of 1,000 or so. It's no small amount. Okay, thankfully there was grain in what I picked up there. No, there wasn't, it was beer and wood. Oh well, Scarborough has a place for boats. Get it repaired. As for Hunter, he returns back from whence he came. Now Wildcard is on his way to grab what he needs, which is clay. No, I guess Haarlem is what I need for that. There's also something to be had there. Oh, beautiful. Some actual pelts and mead. Pitch, rather. Can't go wrong with hemp, because they always need hemp in Haarlem. Jake, any news from Bergen? It became part of the Hanseatic League, or it's still stuck in purgatory? It's still stuck in purgatory, but I'm glad that it is, because that's going to stop it from advancing up to more than 10,000 people. They think they want to build a defensive tower. They are fools. Also, I have plenty of boats sitting around waiting to be made, which is also good news for me. And then there's Riga, which is churning out Hanseatic cogs and carvels for me. Wonderful. But let's not get too distracted. What I came over for was clay and tons of it, because I really need to build up Helsinki if I want to get that cheese flowing. The grain is flowing from Rostock, or at least I hope it will be. No, Rostock needs a lot more goods to build up. Grain is the problem. How much do I want to build that up right now? Rostock, I think, takes priority right now.